Talking NFL Week 16 on Proline TV. And that means if it's a Friday, Mark Lawrence joins us. Jim Feist. How's it going, Mark?
I'm doing just terrific, guys. How are you doing?
We're doing good.
Good.
I'm doing good as long as I can cash a ticket.
Did you happen to cash one last night?
No, I did not, because I bet the under. I thought that the conservatism of the trying to protect Herbert with his leg and everything, and maybe Peyton would draw back a little bit on his game plan because of Nick's throwing the interceptions the week before, would hold the score down, and the Chargers had a pretty good record of having a good defense. I was totally wrong. I mean, 60-some points in a game with the total went from 43 to 40. I was totally wrong.
Well, you were wrong in the final score, Jim, but not in your approach to the game. When you get games like this down the stretch involving teams where playoffs are on the line, they're really played like with playoff intensity. And what happens in the playoffs? The defenses kick in. You usually see low-scoring games when the games are on the line amongst these two teams. Yes, right.
Somebody forgot to tell them.
Yes, I think so.
By the way, see right there, Mark, he actually, that was a perfect example of what I was talking about on the Playbook ATS show with Andy. We had that debate because I was asking Andy what was the good and the bad for your week, and we had this debate that if you lose, it's always bad. And I was trying to explain to him, and from my point of view, that's not the case. That just because you lose, that doesn't. Sometimes there's a lot of positives that go into, or like you said, Mark, your approach was right, but you lost. And correct. So I thought that was what I was trying to explain to Andy. And I know Jim and Tony had a good time just piling on me, along with, even though they actually didn't like the fact that me and Andy were going at it. But me and Andy we've gone on it before, and we both know that it's all in fun, and we have a great time doing it. So
yeah, Andy does have an opinion. I'll say that. Yes.
Yes.
Andy is. I'll tell you what. You meet Andy, and until you start listening to him talk, you say, "This is a pretty regular guy," but when he starts to talk, you realize how damn smart he is. That guy is super intelligent.
Well, he's Ivy League. You know that, Jim. He's an Ivy League grad, but who fell in love with sports handicapping, which is really to our benefit. To
have absolutely.
Definitely. I mean, he's going to be on our Dom DeMarco Pizza Show. We call it the Pizza Show now. It's every Thursday at Dom DeMarco's here in Las Vegas. And we run it on our Proline TV show.
Yep.
It's on our channel.
Yep.
He's going to be on there. He couldn't make it before this because he's busy with his newsletters, and he's also putting in picks for other people in these contests.
Yes, as a proxy, right?
Business. Yeah, right. I was in the couple of the contests. I did not do well in them this year. I've never done well in these contests because so many of my winners come from totals, and none of these contests have totals. So
that's why Victor King does not participate in them either. He did it a couple of years with Andy as a proxy, but no totals to play, and it's of no interest to Victor. So I understand what you're saying. Yes.
And I hope Victor's doing okay. I know he's had a rough year. I mean,
very rough.
So many losses in his life. It's terrible.
Exactly. Right. Yeah. But he's doing better each day. I'll let him know that you were asking. Thank you.
Okay. Good.
Well, taking a look at the teams that are still looking to clinch playoff spots here, as you can see on the left-hand side, that's where the AFC is. We'll start there. You got the Ravens. The Chargers have now flipped with Denver after their win. And that was a huge win for the Chargers because Denver still has time to get to the 6th seed and still be in good position. But the Chargers, if they would have lost that game, they would have been in serious trouble. So because they never would have caught Denver. But now both teams are tied, and the Chargers have the game in hand with the season sweep. And there you go. Broncos are 7th, Chargers are 6th. They're both 9-6. By the way, Baltimore could drop to 9-6 if the Steelers beat them. What do you guys think about that matchup?
Well, go ahead, Mark, if you want to jump in there.
Well, normally the first thing you look for is the divisional game. Who has the revenge? In this case, it's Baltimore. A little incentive for them to play, but I'll say a couple of things. Number one, Lamar Jackson has not played well against Pittsburgh in his career. 1 win in 7 starts. And the other is Lamar Jackson tends to kind of choke down the stretch in big games here as well. I got to play Pittsburgh plus the points in a series that is always decided by 3 points. And
I'm doing the same thing, but what do you think about the I mean, I can't think of the name right now, the wide receiver being out.
Oh, Pickens.
Yes.
Why is he out?
Yes, he's out.
Oh, well, that's a big deal then.
Well, it is, but I also heard he's a big cancer in the locker room too. So how do you weigh that, you know?
Oh.
Is it good news or is it bad news? I don't know.
Interesting. Well, I mean, they already had one of those guys.
They do get Watt back. He is going to play, and that will help. You got a very strong running team, but you got a very strong running defense. Tomlin has had Harbaugh's number for the most part. The games are very close. Mark, I think you said it was something. Well, you said the record there, but the Dogs do well, and the games are close. A lot of times they're within like 3 points.
Jim, in the last 54 games, I believe it's either 24 or 25 games have been decided by 3 or less. That's a Hollywood script. You can't make that up. And what did they do earlier this year? Another 3-point game. I don't know what it is.
I think it was 1917 or something like that.
1816. Yeah.
1816.
And also overall, the Steelers have beaten the Ravens 8 out of 9. See, this is something that we continually talk about, Mark, is here you got a team that has dominated the series. It's a rivalry. They've won 8 out of 9. They've 4-0 straight up ATS last 4. They just beat them, a month ago. And now, not only were they were a 2.5-point dog when they first met. Now, after beating them, they're now a 6.5-point dog. It's like, what is this? I mean, sooner or later they might catch up to that, but that's to the benefit of us. We can go ahead and cash in. But yeah, that's the only thing that I'm a little bit concerned with is Pickens being out. Also, Deshaun Elliott's out. He's a big part of their secondary as far as he's a good run defender in the box. So there are a couple of guys that will be out for Pittsburgh.
Has Baltimore solved their kicking game? Because they had the best kicker in the business, and now he keeps missing everything.
Well, he's not going anywhere, so he's just got to get it right. That's
a big loss if he keeps missing these field goals.
Unquestionably.
Speaking of field goal kickers, there's a big game tonight. We got a college football playoff, like a real playoff. We got a home playoff game. We've never had this ever. We've got a home playoff game in college football. I bring this up because, and it's Notre Dame, Indiana, in-state rivalry. Should be just great. I don't care who wins. What's the point spread? I'm just loving this. It's great for college football. I hope we get snow flurries. We might. This is going to be awesome. The Holy Cathedral, South Bend, Notre Dame. But I bring this up because Notre Dame, one thing to keep an eye on, it may not come in handy tonight, but it could come in handy eventually. Notre Dame's got some serious kicking issues. So they have had some bad field goal play. They've had one guy in, another guy in. The most recent kicker has not made a field goal, I think, in like a month. So keep an eye on that if Notre Dame gets into a very close game, and it could be tonight, that their field goal game could come back to haunt them. So you guys must be getting equally excited about a college football home playoff game tonight.
I am. This is a great one too. Indiana, within the state of Indiana, the Hoosier state. Kirk Cignetti, coach of the year for Indiana, he should have obviously won that hands down for the job that he's done. I think it's going to be a terrific football game. I really, truly do. And like you said, Notre Dame had better not get themselves into a field goal win type situation.
No.
I have a different situation, which I'll explain here. Is because of all the transfers and the consolidation of the conferences and stuff, I decided this year I was not going to personally handicap college football. So what I did is I reached out to 5 people that I know that are very good, that bet substantial money on college football exclusively. I said, I will give you my pro plays and I will pay you money if you win me money, which is a very fair thing to do. So anything I win, I pay them 20%. And I've had the best college football season I've ever had because these people know what the hell they're doing, and I'm not sorry I did it. So I don't have much of a personal opinion, but I will tell you, the ones that gave me a pick on this game, they all gave me Notre Dame.
You know what I don't like, guys?
Just like they gave me Sam Houston State last night.
Yeah, well,
I
I
have
think
no
maybe
idea who's. I don't know anything about Sam Houston State.
Yeah.
I know where they're generally located.
Yeah, Houston. Yeah.
But that's who they bet on, and everybody was saying, why Sam Houston State? They're in a terrible conference. The other team's better. You know, somehow they know what
Somebody
the hell
knows
they're
something.
doing.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, that's the difference. No question. That's the difference. But you know, Mark, you know how much I like the underdogs, and it's really getting to me that out of the 4 games this weekend, that I'm going with 4 of the favorites. It's eating at me.
So you're buying into those home fields, huh, Greg?
I'm just, it's just, I don't know what I'm buying into. It just happened to land into the situation that it is. I mean, I am taking Clemson. Clemson is the one dog I'm taking because I just think that if any of the dogs can do something and make a tiny run, they're not winning the championship.
That is another one, by the way, Greg, they gave me is Clemson.
Okay. Well, they see it's making me feel good already that Notre Dame and Clemson are backed by your top guys because, again.
And I can't give you the rationale or the narrative to it. That's what they gave me.
Greg, just make sure that when you cash your Clemson ticket, you take 20% of it out and give it to Jim to give to his guys. Okay?
Oh,
yeah, right.
Mark, no. With Mark, it's exactly 50%.
Oh, wow. Okay. Which, by the way, Mark, I know you got to run in a few minutes, but and we'll go. I just want to get your take a couple more minutes on the NFL. Just quickly, do you have a long shot team in college football that you're just going to pay attention to, not just this week, but like I said, that I think Clemson, out of all those teams, maybe they can make a little bit of a run. Is there a long shot team that you think can make a little bit of a run?
You're talking about to win the college football playoff?
No, just to win a couple of games.
Well, that would be within the playoff, right?
Yes, but not win the championship.
Play a couple of games, right?
Yeah, just win a couple.
Well, to me, guys, I mean, I'm on the other side of that of Jim's info there, but to me, it would have been the Indiana Hoosiers.
Okay, and, so you think they could also beat Georgia possibly if they?
Georgia now has got quarterback issues.
Okay,
so Beck is out. You got the other kid quarterbacking. They have issues. They have problems. They weren't the Georgia team we've seen the last few years. So you never know. I'm just banking all on Kirk Cignetti. This guy in his career, he's 30-6.
Great job. He's done a great job.
Yes, he
I have a question for you in the pros. We've seen all year long. Most of us have saying Detroit, and in the beginning of the year I said it was going to be Kansas City and Detroit in the Super Bowl. I have to back off a little bit right now because, well, first of all, neither Kansas City hasn't played up to snuff yet. I mean, they win a lot of games, but they're not doing it impressively. And then all the injuries on Detroit, but. This week, Detroit is playing the Bears. And of all the teams in the NFL, the Bears look like they're the most dysfunctional team of anything I've seen in years. The coaching, the player, the Caleb is so hesitant in making decisions. And now they're going to play this desperate Detroit Lion team who just lost at home to Buffalo, who's a dynamic team with Josh Allen. What do you think about that game?
Well, I think if Dan Campbell, if you were asking Dan Campbell, Dan, what can we do to help out your current situation here? He would say, send in the Chicago Bears, okay?
Yeah.
That would be his answer.
Especially after they
I guess that answers the question.
Yeah, that is, and it's not like it was surprising that Detroit had finally caught up to them. So now the question is can they go to their previous goal destination? I'm not saying it's not theirs right now, but I've jumped off. I said it this past week, Mark. I'm completely off Detroit. I can't see them winning a Super Bowl now. There's just too many injuries.
Yeah, and I also don't trust Dan Campbell. I mean, he just makes he coaches too far out of the box. And he makes decisions that are just he makes decisions that got the Charger coach fired.
Staley?
Staley. I mean, come on, man. You don't go for it in your own territory on 4th down in a football game that you need or it's going to be close. You don't do stuff like that. But
I'd love to see that guy at a crap table in Vegas.
oh yeah,
What kind of decisions he would make.
And as we wrap up here, the Falcons are in the thick of the playoffs, and they have made the switch from the veteran to the rookie first-round draft pick. And the Falcon, why not? If you're gonna put the rookie first-round draft pick into his first career start, you better do it with either the Bears or the Giants. So I guess it was the right move.
it was the right move. Yes, it is.
Well, there's something wrong with what's the starting quarterback for Atlanta? What's his name? I can't remember.
Kirk Cousins.
There's got to be something wrong with his arm. He can't throw the ball with any velocity.
You just wonder if that Achilles heel, maybe, which I don't know if it's his right foot and he throws off of that, if that could be an issue. I don't know, but he suddenly just fell off the map.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
he
just
really did.
fell
I
off
mean,
the map.
he's never been a Tom Brady, but he's always been really good.
He's always been a steady Eddie, and he put up better numbers. He's always bashed as a starting quarterback because he didn't win, especially in Minnesota. But he always put up good numbers. He put up, Hall of Fame type numbers. Okay,
he did.
Yes,
he did.
But obviously there's something not right in the state of Denmark right now there.
And they know that, they're not, I'm sure they're not doing it just because they know it. They've given him remember we talked about this last week, Jim, they weren't going to do it in the situation against Minnesota, but they went ahead and gave him another week, and that was also a bad move. And now they just can't give him another week. So that'll be a big game. Jim and I are going to talk more about that game, everything else going on. We're going to go over all the games in the NFL on our Saturday show. So don't forget it's called Sneak Peek, NFL Sneak Peek. So check back on Saturday. Should be actually right around time where everybody's going to be kicking off and getting ready for Saturday college football playoff games. But Jim and I will be recording the NFL show. That's tomorrow. We're going to go over all the NFL injury reports because we're going to try to also get that in before the game start, because don't forget there's a 1:00 game that starts tomorrow. There's actually 3 games tomorrow in the NFL?
I think it's 2.
Just 2. Okay. So you've got Kansas City, Houston.
We're going to have to go 7, 8 o'clock in the morning, my time.
Yeah, probably going to have to do that. So this way we can
text me what time you want to go. I'll be ready.
We'll do. So
I still get
Mark,
up at 2 o'clock in the morning, as crazy as I am.
Well, I'll take advantage of that. So
well, no,
Mark,
don't listen.
Good.
You open the door, Jim. You open the door.
I know.
I've got the 3 hour. I get the 3 hour cushion here, so I can. And so all right. So anyway, Mark, good talking to you again, and look forward to because we're not going to have you on the Playbook show until 2 more weeks, correct?
2 more weeks, right?
2 more weeks. But Mark will be back again next Friday.
Okay, Mark, I probably won't be talking to. I don't know if I'll be talking to you or not. But Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Let's have another great year of. Let's have really, really good health for 2025.
Really good health is the whole key to everything.
I know it's been rough. And please say hello to Victor. I know he went through a bad
I will do that. Merry Christmas to you and Roz. Greg, Merry Christmas as well, okay?
Merry Christmas to everybody out there as well, and we'll see you guys next time.